Hello there, Rabbi. What a lovely day today.
It is. It's a beautiful day here on the course, Joe.
I was recently discussing the rite of B'nai Mitzvah and how, in my own Gentile way, I describe it as a coming of age for Jewish children. Now, is that accurate? Because is 13 when you are considered an adult in Judaism?
For boys, it is 13. For girls, it is 12. And this made perfect sense hundreds of years ago. It makes less sense now unless we just focus on the religious piece, the spiritual piece. But even then, a 12 and a 13-year-old, they haven't had the life experiences or the contact. There's nothing about the maturity. So when I address my B'nai Mitzvah students, I always welcome them to the adult and training program. And I frame B'nai Mitzvah, that's the plural of Bar or Bat Mitzvah, I always frame it as we as adults are going to help you become an adult. And you've entered a program, and the program may take 10 years, 20 years, 5 years. It really varies with each person. And everyone in your group family has something to teach you about being a responsible adult. So if we think of that as an adult and training program, it makes much more sense. And it also takes into account that a 12, 13, 14, 16-year-old isn't in a position to make some very serious decisions about their own bodies, about careers. There's lots of things that we as older adults wrestle with and have trouble. And a younger person isn't prepared, not because they're stupid, not because of anything other than they haven't had enough experience to make decisions.
But we have so many examples every decade, it seems, kids are making important decisions about their lives and themselves at a younger and younger age. Now we have gender selection. Now we have career. Young people, is social media contributing to this? What is this? Are we seceding our responsibility as parents?
Yes, I think we are as parents, as adults. And one thing is the economic factor. Social media makes lots of money. And since we live in a capitalist society, the goal is to maximize profits, minimize cost. And so anything that'll bring the dollars in, it's up to us as adults to step in and go back to an adult and training program, and not by using draconian measures, because that has never worked, and not as forbidden, because we've talked about that. That has never worked. But rather approaching our children as adults in training and what is appropriate at certain ages. And I really believe if parents start doing this, then social media won't have the hold, because it won't have the audience. But I think it has to start with groups and neighborhoods and people. And it has to start by acknowledging that certain ages are not ready to make certain decisions. Look, we restrict drinking alcohol, we restrict driving vehicles, we restrict smoking. So it would be perfectly appropriate to restrict other such decisions, but we can't just restrict them as we did in another video. Rather, as adults, we have to say, how do I help my child and my neighbor's children become adults? What activities are appropriate? How much time on the screen is appropriate?
Well, I agree with you there. I also think talking to your kids, because the first time my child used a naughty word that I know I never taught her, we sat down for a long time while we tried to figure out where she learned it.
And rather than taking the kids and punishing them, washing their mouths out with soap or saying it's bad, we have to have a conversation as to why. What's wrong with vulgar language? What's wrong with being disrespectful? And now let's add another piece. This is why I don't want you to be disrespectful. We're mentors, we're coaches, we're teachers. And that's what we expect from our teachers, our coaches, and our mentors. So let's expect it of ourselves.
Well, I know one thing I always add on to all my lessons is that you should go and watch some of the Rabbi and I videos because he always has wisdom and sage advice, and there it is at your beck and call.
And anybody that would like me to coach them and help them with problems or becoming more mature, just send me a text or an email.